going to be installing exit light, emergency light here in a commercial establishment. Here in the country I was born in, we use a 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps, 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare, the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a switch loop on a 110, 120 volt circuit, or on a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. And we're going to be using MC cable. So we're going to come off this outlet here. And you can see the sloppier work there hooking the outlet up. And on this side you can see they got the insulation caught under the screw head. Nice and snug. Nice and snug. We can get a screw in here to help hold the box on the wall. Extra support here. There we go. We got some extra support. We'll open up our knock out here and we'll start running our MC cable. Our pre-made cable has the anti-short bushing built into the fitting. And it just snaps in here standard snap. Okay, we'll use our MC cable straps and we'll fasten our cable on the wall here. Open. You pop it out like this. There it is. Okay, so we'll get our cable here. I'll get in so it's nice and straight like this. Put our screw into here like this. I go at an angle like that a little bit so I make sure I hit the wood instead of the Okay, so we're gonna make sure this box has 3/4 inch holes and 1/2 inch knockouts. So we're gonna make sure we open up the right size knockout. We're going to put our ground screw in. Because according to the NEC, we have to ground our box. And we'll just push it in here at snap. And just screw it in up here. So I'm going to put it about right here. So I just hope there's a stud in here. If there isn't, there isn't. But if there is, there is. No, there isn't. But you know what? We don't get upset. We don't let it bother you. We'll put another one down here. We'll get our box straight. What we'll have to do is use a wall anchor. Make the holes a little bigger here. And we'll go to our jug and get some wall anchors out. If we don't have them, guess what? We don't have them. But we happen to have 2 of them. Here we go. Get our cable nice and straight here. Hopefully we'll bite into something over here. Wow. Okay, so now we're ready to hook our emergency exit light up. Okay, so first we'll take our ground wire here. We'll strip some copper off there. We'll make our loop the direction our screw turns. Put it around our screw. Close it the direction our screw turns. And we'll push our ground wire back into our box. So we have our white, which is neutral, and our black, which is live. So this is our fixture here. We have a red and a white wire. White is the common, you'll see common on it. And the red is our 120 volt or 277. You can hook it up to either one. And the electronics inside will determine what the voltage is. So we're going to be going into which holes are we going to go into. So we're going to be opening, okay, I'll put it up this way. So we're going to open that one and that one. So we're going to put our big drill in here. We're going to drill this big hole in the middle to put our wires through. We'll take our bigger bit out. And we'll open up our smaller holes for the screws. Okay, so we'll open up our Power holes here for screws. Box. Okay, so now we can just get all our debris out of here. We'll take the screws out of the box here. Okay, so we'll take our lights. These are the emergency lights. We'll just stick them in here. So just put it in like that, snap it over like that, and you can adjust your lights like that. We'll see how it's notched, so you just put it in. So you see how the hooks line up like this. You just put it in like this, then you just snap it back like that. And you can adjust the light to where you want it. So we'll stick our tinned wires through the hole in the back here. Make sure our wires are even here. I'll take a little bit off our red and white here so it's the same length as our... Now these are pre-tinned, so I'm not going to strip them back and wrap the strands around the solid wire. So you just simply put the red, well, you can see better here, the 120 volt and the 277 on the tag there. It's universal voltage, so we'll just get our copper even at the top and our insulation even on the bottom like that there. Take our wire nut, make sure our insulation goes up into the bottom of the wire nut. Twist it down nice and tight, make sure the insulation's up inside the bottom there. Get our insulation even at the bottom and our copper even at the top like that there. Take our wire nut, make sure our insulation is going into the bottom of the wire nut there. Make sure our insulation is up into the bottom of the wire nut. Okay, now we can do is we can, there's a little plug in here for the battery, and there's this little plug in up here. Can you see that little white plug there? You take this, you just line the little key up. You just line it up like this here, push it down in. You see where it snapped in there? Okay, so we will fold our wires into our box here so that, and we'll make sure our screws don't hit the wires. Okay, our screws aren't going to hit the wires there. Find our hole over here. Get our light up here nice and straight. Make sure it's up here nice and snug. It's nice and straight. Make sure no wires are pinched anywhere. So now we can just push these wires back in here. We'll point that one down some. Okay, we'll fold these wires into the track here on the side. Make sure nothing's pinched in here. And make sure our components are all standing up straight so they don't short out anywhere or touch something we don't want them to touch. Now we're ready to put our cover up here. Okay, our cover comes with red or green. You just pull the red out and snap the green in if you want the green, but we want the red. So we'll just take our cover, stick it up here like this, snap it in, and we are all hooked up here. Okay, so we have our outlet we're going to be hooking up. We're going to close the screws we're not going to be using. We're going to use these ideal wire connectors here. just verify our black wire is live here. You can see that. So we'll take off just a little bit more than a half of an inch here. Make sure our wire is nice and straight. Now we're gonna make sure we get it stripped long enough so we get our insulation up into the yellow. I feel that little barb, I push it in, and I see the copper come up to the top. White and the white one here. There, I get the copper up to the top, and our insulation is into the bottom of the yellow there. And we'll hook our black and white up from here. So we'll get our black one, make sure our wire is going in there straight, make sure it's the right length, push it in. Our copper comes up to the top and our insulation is in. Take our white wire, we'll take off about a half of an inch here. Do the same thing. Make sure our copper comes up to the top and our insulation is into the bottom. And we'll get our ground wire. Make it nice and straight here. Shorter here. There it is. Make sure our copper's up at the top. We'll get our ground in here. There we go. See, we got our copper up at the top here. Okay, we'll get a white tail to go to our outlet. We'll take off about a half of an inch. We're just going to check the distance there, or slightly more. We'll take about an inch off on this side because we're going to put this wire around. Here in the country I was born in, our white wire goes on the silver colored screw, which is the wider slot. Like this, you always put your wire around the screw, the direction your screw turns, close your loop. Make sure it's nice and tight, and we have a good connection like that there. take off, straighten our end here. We'll take about 1 inch off our black wire. We'll make our loop the direction our screw turns here. And the black wire goes on the brass colored screw, which is the narrower slot over here. Make sure it's nice and tight. Like that there. And the ground will go on your green colored screw. That's your U-shaped hole. I'll take off about 1 inch. And about 1/2 inch where we're gonna go into our connector there. Close your loop the direction your screw turns. So that is how to wire the tails onto an outlet here in the country I was born in. So now we can get our black one stripped here. We'll have them the same length here. We'll take off about 1/2 inch here. So we'll put our white, or we'll put our ground in with our green wires here. This one has 4 ports on them. So we make sure we get all our copper up to the top of this connector here. Make sure our copper is all coming up to the top and our insulation is down at the bottom. There. Okay, it's up at the top the way we want it. Okay, so we can get our ground wires back into our box here. Okay, now we'll get our white in with neutral wires here. Push it, get our copper in there. Push it in, make sure our copper's all coming up to the top here. Okay, our copper is all. So back here now, I'm going to just grab the back here, just push it in. There it is, it's up all the way. I didn't cut through the insulation there, so we can just push the white wires back into our box here. Yes. And last we'll do our hot wire, which is our black. I'll take a little more off of this here. Okay, our copper is all up at the top on all of our conductors here, and that's what we want. So now we can push our black wires back into our box here. So this is our mud ring here. Make sure it's on here nice and tight. So we'll fold our wires so that they go into our box the way we want them to. We'll get it centered on our box here. Get it centered. 1, 2. I'll just make sure our screws aren't hitting the wires outside hitting anything. And that one's not hitting anything. Let's put our cover on here. Okay, so now we'll just plug our tester in here. And you can see our 2 orange lights are lit, so it means it's wired correctly. And there's the chart there, you can read it. Alright, so we'll hop up here and we'll push our test button, see if the battery charged up, and it sure did. Peace. Thanks for watching. So this is the Lithonia lighting emergency exit light. And there's the specs on the back of the box.